Hermosa Beach, California, the championship final of the Miller Lite USA Championships. Tim Hovland, Mike Dodd, undefeated at this point, going up against St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. They have met once before in this tournament. Hovland Dodd winning 15-0. How big is the crowd here?
Huge.
Very, very big. Our first referee, the best on the beach, Bobby Clark. Top international referee, the only American selected to referee in Seoul last year. And our umpire, also very capable, George Carey. So Clark and Carey underneath. And there'll be pressure on them to do a good job, Paul. A lot of controversy this year. And if you weren't with us, St. John Smith losing to Hovland and Dodd in the winner's bracket final when St. John Smith did not want to take the court because of one of the referees that was going to do the lines. That was John Lee. And I think we should just point out that John Lee is not involved in this particular match. So Smith Stoklos, I guess, have nothing to worry about, Paul.
I think they've got a lot to worry about. They've got Hovland and Dodd, who, granted, were ahead 4-0 at the start of that very controversial match, but ended up winning 15-0. They're rested. They're ready. This is a big payday, and Dodd show up for those kind of days.
And Smith and Stoklos are hungry. You see the fifths. They're not used to that. Only 2 bad finishes of the year. Come here. Oh, they did have 1 7th. I believe that was in Venice. And here we go. Smith and Stoklos, they have 1 loss, so they have to win and then win, baby. Win this game and then win the 7-point tiebreaker. Mike Dodd. So Hovland and Dodd, Smith Stoklos. $150,000 in prize money. And the fans are out. Who would have the home court advantage here? Hovland, Dodd?
Yeah, I think so. I think they do. They play a lot just up the beach at Marine and Manhattan Beach, and I think they're the home court favorite, home beach favorite.
Smith. Hovland has a great set, and Dodd crushes it. So Mike Dodd hits Randy Stoklos right on the head to open it up.
Do you remember in years gone by when we used to talk about Mike Dodd being the weaker of the two? Well, no more. Mike has bulked up, and here's the result, and Randy Stoklos is just looking for a place to hide. Mike says, Randy, sorry.
1-0, Hovland and Dodd. So if you're going back to that 15-0 drubbing in the winner's bracket, that's 16 straight points that Hovland and Dodd have scored against Smith and Stoklos. So we'll see if Smith and Stoklos can get one here and get off the schneid. 1-0 in our championship final. That's the start of our championship final. Glad you're with us.
Yes. Hurry, puck line. Over.
Too tight, and it's still going. Oh, straight up. Let's see him take it with his hands. Can't do it.
There. Get it, go.
So an early, important rally. Won by Hovland and Dodd. If there was anyone who would take that ball with his hands, it would have been Randy Stoklos, but that thing's spinning like a top. He just couldn't chance it.
Well, it only went about 100 feet in the air, and I was watching him. I go, come on, Randy, break
I thought he
out
was
the
going
pause.
for it.
He should have set the ball with his hands. Would have come out perfectly.
Would have gone right through his head and down to his toes, perhaps. Stoklos, as you said earlier, though, very powerful hands. If you're shaking hands with Randy Stoklos, he's got some meat hooks on him. Smith.
Line.
Blocked by Hovland. Smith is there, and they keep it alive. Dodd. And Dodd thumps one. So good early action in our championship final.
Hovland again at the net blocking. Lucky cover by Stoklos and Smith keeping the ball in play. We've talked a lot about Tim Hovland's ability to set the ball. He's bumping the ball right onto the net accurately from Mike Dodd, who just rips against, where's Randy Stoklos? No block.
2-0. And counting the winner's bracket final, 17 straight points for Hovland and Dodd over Smith Stoklos. St. John converts down the line.
Randy Stoklos back to serve.
So Randy in serve position. He has a very good jump serve. Let's see if he uses it. Looks like he's going to. Disguises it fairly well. And straight down the pound.
The perfect low bump set from Mike Dodd. Tim Hovland indoors at USC and on the national team, was a middle hitter. Rhythm, very, very important. Passes the ball right to the net. Now watch Mike Dodd. Just splits the difference. Hov comes in and then chops back to the line. Ball set inside from the sideline creates double option for Tim Hovland. Cut back or the angle.
A lot of speculation today. When will Tim Hovland rip off his jersey? The over-unders double digits before 10 or after 10. So we'll keep an eye on the Hov. See if it'll do his Incredible Hulk imitation once again today. I say absolutely.
Angle! Very nice!
Into the corner. Nice set and hit by Randy Stoklos. Smith and Stoklos, really the only team that has done it this year.
Doesn't happen very often. The level of play so high now. They've come through twice. No one else in Rhode Island and Chicago fought back through the losers to take the championship.
Good. Come here!
Hovland.
Come on.
And gently over the head of St. John Smith. So Tim Hovland back to serve. And what a great career he had. Won a national championship at USC in '80. Thought he could have had one in 1979, but that was the NCAA final that Dusty Dvorak wrecked his ankle in the second game, and the man who sprained it, colliding with him under the net, was none other than St. John Smith. That lob shot by Smith. He's so good at that. He just caught a little touch of Hovland's finger. 2-0 is the score.
The best in the game at that particular shot. Mike Dodd has got a great shot deep to the corner, but a little bit different.
Mike, come here. Cut! No.
See,
And
Hov
right on
setting
the
the
line.
ball, excuse me, because Hov setting the ball well, I think, here in this final.
Much better than he was earlier in the day. We watched him in a couple matches. He was setting the ball off the net, but he's been very, very good so far.
The 1989 Hermosa Beach final. On the end, Randy Stoklos, St. John Smith, Tim Hovland, no Mike Dodd.
No Mike Dodd,
Yeah, stick up for
unfortunately.
both you guys.
Yeah, he's back in JOs with his wife, and we wish you the best, Mike Dodd.
You can handle these guys by yourself.
You're my new partner, buddy.
Okay, I'm in.
You got it.
Now, a year before, '88, we saw that last week. Smith Stokey come back
Yep.
from the losers bracket to take down Hov Dodd. Now we're in the '89 final, and again, you're sitting in the same position through the winners bracket.
Yeah, that's interesting. They are on a roll. You know, they came back in '88. They took us down pretty hard, especially that second game. Winter was a long time. We're waiting for this one in '89. And there was some controversy all day that day because of St. John again. And
Like, what do you mean again?
again,
What are
as
you talking
usual,
about?
as
Jeez
usual.
Louise.
First, let's talk about Hermosa Beach itself, the event, the mystique around Hermosa, why it was so important.
Well, they made that the last event of the season, the biggest event of the season. It was the U.S. Championship,
Yes.
right? Is what they called it.
Yeah.
And so it culminated the year, and it just so happened that when we got to that point, the last tournament, it made the difference in who came out on top, you know, for the tour, basically, almost
Most prize
every year.
money, most points,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Randy,
so-
what was it different Hermosa than Manhattan when you can see with your own eyes how far apart they are?
Well, there wasn't so much of a difference except for just the locale and really the people that were in the communities that were come down to support the tour. I just remember in 1989 the stands got bigger,
Yeah.
more people came down. There was the sport was on TV a lot more. There was more emphasis on you know, just playing well and making sure that you made TV. And it was an exciting time.
Yeah, St. John, Randy brings up a great point. In 1989, the crowd was way bigger than '88.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Crow.
It was incredible. I remember when I first started coming to the beach and seeing the crowds, and there were thousands of people, and now they started to actually promote the event. I mean, there were thousands of people without promotion. Now they're actually promoting the fact that we were going to be down there, and the fact that we would play against each other in many of the events throughout the season, and it was on TV. Everyone wanted to see us, everybody. So everybody came down to check it out and to see us beat up on each other and see if Hov would tear off his shirt and to
Probably
see if we would
happened.
fight on the court and yell and scream at each other and see Hov try to manhandle the referees and get them on his side, you know, all that kind of stuff.
How bad you guys want to win it because it was the last Hermosa of
Last
the '80s.
Hermosa of the '80s, but the sting in the mouth from '88 was still there. You don't forget those things, you know. You lose a double final, you don't want to do that. Two years in a row, you really have a tough time sleeping.
You're in the driver's seat when you win the winner's
You
bracket.
expect to win the tournament.
Because and they had beaten us, you know, again, just like the year before. So we had to play an extra match to get back to the finals, and then if we won the first game, we'd have to play another game to win the tournament.
Only to 7 though this year.
Yeah, this year, because
Which was
it
a
took
good
so
rule.
darn long. Last year, they go,
Yeah.
we can't be out here for 2.5 hours. We got to shorten it down a
It
little
was a
bit.
good rule. Good
Yeah.
rule
And
change.
Yeah,
plus-
that was definitely one of the rules that got implemented in the season, that double finals went to 7 points, and obviously for the better.
Stick around, more AVP Classics to come.
It's our championship final here on Prime Ticket. And the two best teams on the beach. Fans are everywhere flocking to this one, Paul. Just off below the city of Redondo. Smith, Dodd has it.
Over, hard.
Nice dig by Smith. They need a conversion. Oh, what a set by Stoklos, but Hovland is on the spot.
Tim Hovland blocked extremely well in the final of the winner's bracket and off to a great start here. Superb back set by Randy Stoklos. Nobody, I repeat, no one can do it any better than right there. And Tim Hovland, maybe no one can block any better than he can, stuffing the ball straight down for the score.
3-zip is the score. Hovland and Dodd off to a good start. Inside Tim Hovland. He couldn't get that one. Dodd planted in the middle of the court.
St. John just makes you freeze. He establishes the deep line shot. The defensive player, Mike Dodd, in this case, leaning in that direction, has no chance to get to the cut shot.
And right down the middle. That
Don't see that very often, Chris, from St. John Smith. Missed a couple serves early on in this final. 2 service errors. And we talk about how much he likes to place the ball as opposed to rip it hard. Don't see him miss very many.
Ball short, short.
Stoklos with the side out. And Stoklos will serve. 3-0. And that 3 translates with the 15 in the winner's bracket. 18 straight points. Hovland and Dodd have scored on Smith Stoklos.
Yeah, line.
Hovland off Randy Stoklos out of bounds. Pace of this particular game very, very slow right now.
A little bit of a chess match, and right now Hovland and Dodd are getting their pieces of the puzzle or pieces of the board in a very, very good position. They're serving Smith, they're blocking balls, and Mike Dodd is playing a little cat and mouse game behind the block of his teammate Tim Hovland.
Line, line. Out. No.
Cross court, out of bounds, another point. So Hovland and Dodd, they are on the good side, so they should be scoring 4 in a row. And St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos getting off to the same start they did in the winner's bracket final. Down, zip 4. And nice poke by St. John Smith. Got it right off Hovland's hand, out of bounds. Smith and Stoklos have not been able to score a point. That's been their problem, at least in this particular game so far.
And in these conditions, Chris, with a very light breeze and the crowd blocking whatever portion or percentage of that might be getting to Hovland and Dodd, their game really takes advantage of this. They're controlling the ball extremely well.
Smith, point scoring opportunity. They can't quite get it. Oh, that was a lift. That was a big lift. Yes, Bobby Clark has it. It was right on his shoulder. You can't do that.
And good teamwork by the officials. Bobby Clark blocked out. The umpire, George Carey, down below, helped and made the call. Good call. Good teamwork between the officials. Here's the early part of the rally. Hobb doesn't get an approach, gets blocked again. There you see, shoulder, fist, double contact. Good work by the officials.
Can't do that. And so a timeout on the sand. St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos off to a good start. They lead 4-1.
Now, we talk about the rivalry, #1 versus #2. This is actually the 10th time in 1989 you guys meet in the final. Smith Stokey 5, Hov Dodd 4. I mean, it just feels like it was every week.
Yeah, it was every week. A lot of the 80s it was every week. And, you know, coming down to Hermosa, as we said before, I mean, this is my backyard. St. John's 20 miles from his backyard, but he brings down his group because of the year before, you know, he wanted to have more representation. Well, he's got like 30 family members there. And he picked up a couple on the way down. Randy took his whole crew. So this was, you know, we'd all sit back. This is before player tents. So we'd have our own tents over here. Yeah. St. John and Randy over here, Javi Dodd over here.
The other end.
It was like squaring
off.
off. It was your camp. It was your people here. If you're in that camp, you don't come over to my camp.
That is awesome.
I see you going over there, you're X'd off my camp.
But you know what? I'd always see his brother, and we'd hang out.
Property lines were definitely measured out early on in the day.
You'd stake your claim to that spot right there, and if you don't go back and forth to camp.
Now, there may be some debate about this next topic, but you guys met earlier in the tournament, and it was 15-0, Hov Dodd. Is this true?
This is true. St. John, another little temper tantrum that he had, again in Hermosa Beach, had a problem with the referee, wouldn't come out to play, sat down, protest, wah, wah.
So was it really 15-0?
It ends up, hold on, this is my side. He came out at 4-0. I think they started playing at 7-0, and we ended up giving him a spank job at 15-0, and it was, still don't know why he did it.
You want to know why?
I don't want to know why.
Does anyone want to know why?
You guys want to know why? I don't think they want to know why either.
Love to.
There was one of the referees in the tournament that I felt had always been unfair, not only to me and Randy, but to other people as well. And this guy happened to be a writer for the magazine, too. And if you read his articles, you'd think that I wasn't even in the same class as the guys playing the sport. I was an amateur.
That's what this is all about.
No, that was just something that led me to believe that there was something wrong about the way this guy handled things. So I knew he was already going to be reffing our finals of the winner's bracket. And I told the tournament director well in advance, I go, this guy is unfair. Can you replace him? And I asked several times. And, you know, he had no answer, and then finally the game's getting ready to start, and he walks out on the court, and I go, I'm not playing if that guy's out here because he is unfair. And even though I warned plenty of time in advance, the guy was out there and said, okay, I'm not playing.
You were asking for
What were you doing when this was all going on,
I'm not playing.
Well, I remember it a little bit differently, and I remember it, the first couple points that St. John was, really this tournament should be called Sitting Bull. Because the truth is that St. John sat down there and was adamant about not coming out and playing in front of this referee. And I was just begging him on my knees to come out because the score became 4-0, became 7-0, and then maybe as you guys call it, that we went out and played against you guys. And even at 14-0, I was going, St. John, come on, let's side out. We can come back and still beat this team. And I truly felt that.
The only reason why I came out and actually played that game, because I was dead set against it, is Leonard Armato, who started the AVP for us, came to me and said, listen, this isn't good for the sport. I'll make sure he's not here in the final. Just get through this game so we can continue the tournament. And I said, okay.
A side deal, did you?
I said, okay, I'll play. but you know, it just didn't seem fair that this guy, was out there knowing, that he was unfair.
This. Okay, you're the only one thinking
so
this.
You did this for...
This was your...
You did this for Leonard Armato? You did this for Leonard Armato? You didn't do it for myself?
No,
I was just begging you there.
No, I knew we could lose the game and come back and win the tournament.
We did it the year before.
Exactly right. So I knew we could give up one.
Good luck. Bring it on.
And I would mess with Hov's head. And he would know what was thinking, what was going on.
I was having a good time. 15-0 was fine with me. Hit the road,
I'm sure it was.
At this point, Mike Dodd and Tim Hovland have only given up 26 points heading into the final.
Right on.
More AVP Classics to come.
Wind not much of a factor. You see it blowing, but the stands, as we come down, really block out a lot of the wind. The wind is onshore, coming right off the water. And so the wind on the serves, I don't think is a big factor, and that would favor Hovland and Dodd because of their lollipop philosophy. Nice set, and Smith hits it. So Smith and Stoklos, they're back on the good side, and they have a little life, Paul. And there goes Hovland. There goes the shirt for Hovland. There he goes. He's taking it off.
The overs and unders here. Hobb chasing, just able to keep the ball in play. And St. John going again on one, and Mike Dodd just with a kamikaze block of about 4 feet off the net. No chance at all to make the save.
So Hovland, the shirt off at 4-2, just about the right time. And he tosses it into the crowd. When do the hat and glasses go, Paul?
Well, the over on that is 12, the under is 9, and the glasses are anytime.
Remember last week, Hovland threw his hat right into, what'd you say, into the bay?
Puget Sound.
Stoklos. So Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith keeping their heads cool at the moment. They were down 4-1. They score a couple.
No panic from Smith Stoklos down 4-1. They've been in that position many times, particularly against top teams. And they're just playing their game right now. Randy Stoklos blocking some balls, setting up the defense of St. John Smith.
We'll see how they set up this time. Stoklos from behind. See how they coordinate. Going to Dodd. And they know Dodd likes the line. Smith is there. Oh, the Hobb is pouncing on it. Tim Hovland right on top of that baby. Good play by both teams.
St. John Smith again much better from the right side spiking than he is from the left. Beautiful bump set by Randy Stoklos. St. John likes to go cross court. Hobb knows it, drops his inside hand, stuffs the ball down.
One thing, when you do wear sunglasses all the time, the perspiration does cloud your glasses up just a little, so you'll see Tim kind of wipe it out part of the time.
Fine.
Smith.
Come here. Please, right here. Go, get.
And going the wrong way. A nice, beautiful shot by Tim Hovland.
Hobb deflecting the ball at the net, creating a point-scoring opportunity. Mike Dodd keeping composure, not overreacting, just giving his teammate something he can swing at.
Good all the way. Over it!
Oh, the big Hobb with another stuff. That time on Stoklos. 3 stuffs.
Block number 3 for Tim Hovland, reaching out, just taking away the line from Randy Stoklos. Hovland and Dodd have just been plowing through this tournament. Rotman and Williams 15-6. No team again in double figures, Chris, and everyone will remember the goose egg 15-0 in that controversial final of the winners.
Only 26 points allowed in 5 games. That is a very, very good average for Hovland and Dodd, but they were influenced a lot by that 15. Oh, almost trouble.
Hit it!
And Stoklos hits a rocket. So at the last minute, a little communication between Smith and Stoklos averts what could be a catastrophe, a drop ball.
Randy recovers from deep trouble and, showing his athletic ability, gets to the net and doesn't just keep the ball in play, but rips it up the middle for a very, very important side out. If Hovland and Dodd have any chance at all for the Kings of the Beach title, they must win here, and they must win again in San Diego in a couple of weeks. On the other hand, Smith Stoklos can wrap up the title. If they win here today, it's all theirs.
Great play by St. John Smith. The over-the-head tomahawk, and that's going to be a side chain. So Smith Stoklos on the warpath using the tomahawk. 6-4 is our score, and we'll continue with our coverage of Men's Pro Beach after these messages. In Hermosa Beach, and you're looking at St. John Smith, his partner Randy Stoklos. They're going up against Hovland and Dodd. The rivalry continues.
Up. Yes! Cut!
And a nice play. Oh, the ball was hit out, just out of bounds. It kind of zoomed, but the set was just a bit low. And a point for Smith Stoklos. So they have come back down 4-1. They're starting to come on just a bit. St. John actually trailing 4-0. Stacking up Bill Farbstein tells me. So they are really playing well now.
Cut!
Dodd. Oh, Smith is there. This could be a point. Oh, terrible set by Stoklos. Only one we've seen. Dodd. And Dodd hits it out again. Unbelievable rally. Fans like that kind of play.
Smith and Dodd just exchanging cut shots. You don't see a missed set from Randy Stoklos very often. Maybe 3-4 all summer long. Long rally. And uncharacteristically, Mike Dodd, one of the most consistent spikers on the beach, hitting 2 balls out of bounds.
Unbelievable. You see a not-so-good set from Stoklos, and then a bad hit by Dodd. Hovland and Dodd, a couple of unforced errors. But you don't expect Stoklos to miss the play. Tim Hovland, certainly one of the more interesting characters on the beach. He gave me a schedule, Paul. Monday, this is what he does during the week. Monday, he cruises and babysits, takes it easy. Tuesday, he cruises again, takes a run, afternoon games, and then hits the weights. Wednesday, morning games, lunch, afternoon games, and then a little run. Thursday, does some promos, morning game. Then he goes out to a nice little Mexican lunch. And then Friday is the day that he does some more promos for the AVP and goes to the bank. His dad handles all the finances, so Hob just says, look, this is how much money I need, Dad. Send it on over. So the Hob working hard. Tim Hovland. That's a schedule anybody'd like to have, wouldn't they, Paul?
I'll take it right now. And most great athletes, you know, creatures of...
Great shot. And up by Smith. Can he convert? Oh, yes!
They were exchanging cut shots for a while, but Smith ahead of Dodd right here after this tremendous sequence again from St. John Smith. Playing defense. Look at him there again. And Randy Stoklos with a perfect bump set. Now St. John waits, and then the little cut, and Mike Dodd cannot get that.
The best cut shot on the beach, for sure, St. John Smith. And now they take the lead 7-6. Remember, Smith-Stoklos need to win this game to send it to the tiebreaker. And Mike Dodd, a little anger in that one, Paul. He hit a couple balls out, made a couple of mistakes. He's usually very steady, doesn't do that. So Dodd getting set to put the ball back in play. Hovland and Dodd trailing by 1. They're up 4-0 somehow. And let it slip away. They've been outscored 7-2 by Smith-Stoklos.
Ball's good. Right there. Line.
And down the line. You can really hear Randy Stoklos. Our audio picks it up great. You can hear him yelling, line, giving a good call. I think he's one of the best on the beach at making that call accurately.
Well, first of all, it's because Randy Stoklos sets the ball perfectly every time. He sets the ball.
Except once.
Yeah, except once. And then he can concentrate on the block, and he can help St. John Smith.
Tim. That's all. Yeah, line.
And Hovland gently rainbows out of bounds. So Hovland and Dodd making some unforced errors. Of course, when the block is up, it's really never unforced, but Hovland with an easy shot that time.
And one of his favorite cutback rainbow shots to the corner. You asked me early on what Smith-Stoklos would have to do to turn it around. First of all, they've raised their game. They're siding out extremely well. Scored 5 straight points. But Hovland and Dodd are making mistakes to the tune of 4 unforced errors here at only 8-6 lead Smith-Stoklos.
Him. Lasso. Hey, angle. Go.
And gently the angle shot. And Hovland and Dodd trying to create now a little intensity. They lost it just for a moment. And that sometimes can happen. You get off to an early lead and things are going to go well. And then just a little intensity drop, and Smith-Stoklos caught right back up.
Right there. Fine. Come on,
And down the line easily. So Smith and Stoklos are getting some easy serves, Paul. Smith once again in jump serve posture. Let's see where he goes with it.
Cut. Line.
Stoklos with a dig. Chance for a point.
Angle.
And they get it. So Smith-Stoklos red hot right now. The Miller Lite USA Championships. St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos leading at the moment by 3.
Gentlemen, I'm going to give you a little stat here. St. John, 1982, you made $16,000.
Hey, by the way, that was great money for us.
In 88, Smith-Stokey over 134,000. Hob in 83, 24,000. By 88, Hob Dodd, 139,000. So the sport is growing
And
financially.
you know what? And you know what's even better? We were making more money with our sponsors than we were in prize money.
Sponsors.
I mean, it was incredible how the sport changed in a short period of time.
Because that's not that long.
It's not that long. And, you know, I remember 88, we signed a deal, I think it was with Offshore or whoever we were with back then. I mean, you can make $200,000 or $300,000 off, you know, from your sponsors before you went out there. So your game,
Unheard of.
Your game is ready to go. You know, and hopefully you guys are still getting that today. I'm not sure what you're getting. But,
I know I'm not.
A long time ago.
It was the year of the day glow. That's truly when it all came out, and sponsors got on to the aspect of really providing us with some pretty loud shorts that were, you know, standing out, and they'll say they sold. It's what we wore was what the public wore.
What did it do to you guys, though? I mean, better cars, you're buying houses. I mean, were you
Better
having a great
cars,
time off the
houses.
court as well?
Yeah, great time. Plus, this whole time, I'm still playing over in Italy, so it would be back and forth, and, you know, there was a lot, you could make a pretty good living, you know, doing both. So, yeah, we started investing in real estate and had nice cars, and
you know,
had a nice life.
At the beginning of the year, we could always beat up on Hov because he'd come back and he hadn't practiced or anything. He'd be white and pasty and be out of shape.
I'd only hit 100 balls a game over there. I was beat up. Anybody be beat up.
We'll be back with more AVP Classics.
Welcome back to Hermosa Beach, California. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, and Bill McDonald with you. 9-6, Smith Stoklos lead. And inside goes Mike Dodd. So Mike Dodd, Tim Hovland, trying to get something going.
Blocking a ball right here would go a long way to restoring some confidence and some rhythm. Surprising, you know, you get hot blocking, you get hot on defense, and all of a sudden you have so much more confidence. You're siding out with much greater efficiency.
I think you're right, Paul. They need to make something happen. They need to turn a play, transition, and get a point, get a little confidence. Just lollipopping the serve, so they have to make it happen otherwise. And Stoklos, that thing hit the tape and exploded into the crowd. The back line. It's very unusual. You don't really get it usually a big bounce when the ball hits right on the line, the back line.
Yeah,
that thing just ba-boomed.
Except if it's going about 100 miles an hour. Randy Stoklos being served 3-4 times in a row now by Hovland and Dodd.
I think that's a good strategy. I don't think that down the line by Dodd.
St. John just does not make errors, and if you're trying to create something, get a stuff block from Randy Stoklos or maybe an error out of bounds. Randy not used to the hitter's role.
I think it's been proven, I think, over the years that if you serve St. John a lot, you're not going to beat that team very much. And so teams have been splitting it up just a bit. They're right back on Smith.
Right there. Come on. Come on.
Dodd with a nice dig. Nice set. Stoklos backing up. Dodd with a chance. Hovland, Dodd need it. Can't get it yet. Now Stoklos on the right. Good enough. Not a question about Randy Stoklos. Could he play the right?
Everything going Stoklos' way offensively. Just frustrating the big block of Tim Hovland.
They're just not converting. They have their chances, Hovland and Dodd, but they're not being not able to put the ball down. You talk about the key plays as Smith will straighten out the line just a bit. But the key play, you have to make it. You get a dig, you get a chance to swing at the net. You better take advantage because you're not going to get a lot of opportunities.
See, again, their ball control breaking down, Chris. Easy side out, if at all, a chance from Hovland and Dodd.
And Hovland rockets one into the crowd. And so I think you're right, Paul. Their ball control has gone south at the moment.
They both live north in El Segundo, and their ball control is down around Redondo Beach.
But remember that they're going to take timeout, Hovland and Dodd. Let's see if it's a full timeout, says Bobby Clark, and we're going to take a timeout. This is our first 15-pointer. Smith Stoklos have to win, and then we go to our 7-point tiebreaker. Hovland and Dodd are down. Can they come back? Find out in a minute.
Now you're leading 10-6. Feeling pretty good.
You know, it seemed like we were in the driver's seat, and we were strong. We weren't tired. Everything was going the way. I mean, you can't plan a game out like this. We knew it's a game of momentum.
Yeah.
One play can change momentum, then they could be scoring points. I mean, I could be putting the ball around Hov, you know, all day long, and then all of a sudden I get blocked once, and then after that block I get blocked 3 more times. You know, and then it's a whole new game again. So anything could happen.
Stokey, is 10-6 a big lead back then?
Oh, well, it's a big lead, but to remember, like St. John said, points are always scored in bunches. And there was also a premium put on knowing exactly what side switches were going to be to an advantage of you. meaning that a 9-6 switch at that time, we were in the driver's seat, we were going to the good side or the bad side. You knew exactly what you had to do on those sides that were more difficult.
Well, it seems, Hav, that you guys are not putting any pressure on Smith-Stokey. So what do you need to do to get back in the ballgame?
We need to stop blocking some balls. We need to Dodd to dig some balls. We need to start siding out, concentrating.
MD to dig balls.
You know what? and sometimes I would throw a fit, go yell at the referee, change the momentum. You have to do something. You know, that's when ripping off your shirt or getting in a yelling argument, it changes the momentum of how you're playing. If you're feeling stale, you need to pick it up. You need to do something, and that's, you know, hopefully what we're doing.
And Tim was the master at that.
Tim was the master.
You know, you always needed somebody to translate what Tim was saying on the court. I don't know if you ever listened to it. Come on, let's go.
Japanese. Japanese is just therapy of how you're going to do it, baby.
What did you used to say? Hup, hup, hey now?
Hup, hup.
Hey now, MD, right now.
Ball's right there, douche.
And the ball's served, and the Hov's going, hup, hup,
Hey, it's moving your feet.
I don't know what douche means, but stick around. We'll be back with more AVP Classics.
Back to AVP Classics. You're watching the 1989 Hermosa Beach Open. We now move further ahead in the action. Here's Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland with the call.
St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos leading 11-9 over Hovland and Dodd. Hovland and Dodd coming back just a bit.
Down 11-6, Hov Dodd got a couple breaks. They made a couple plays, and they're right back in at 11-9. You said they had to be 11-9, 12-8, going to the good side. They accomplished exactly that.
Hovland and Dodd now on the good side. St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos on defense.
Angle. Come on.
And gently into the corner. So Hovland takes a good look before he goes up and swings.
Tim just takes what the defense gives you, passes the ball, set from Mike Dodd in rhythm, looks at Randy Stoklos. Dodd gives Hovland a call, line, cross court, just hits the ball to the open portion of the court.
10 kills for Hovland as he gets sets to put it in play.
Fine. Good.
Trying to lob deep.
Angle. Nice shot.
St. John Smith doing a nice job of setting the ball with his hands earlier in the season. We saw him just bump setting the ball. Ball coming out beautifully. Randy Stoklos siding out.
I don't know how you could ever miss a pass, though. The serve is so easy. I don't want to keep harping on it, but it is just so easy. They're not putting Hovland and Dodd any pressure on Smith and Stoklos. It's just a...
Yes. Line. Ready.
There's some heat by Mike Dodd. It seems like you could try some short serves, some spin serves occasionally.
Their strategy is to serve the ball deep, but they're serving the ball so high that it's easy for a player to back up, pass the ball, and then regain forward momentum. When you serve a player deep, you want to get him backing up so he can't get to the net to effectively attack the ball. St. John with plenty of time, easy rhythmic approach, gets the side out.
Smith Stoklos leading by 2. Last year, the same 2 participants, Smith Stoklos, Hovland, and Dodd. It went to a double final last year. Smith Stoklos pulling it out. Remember, if we do go to double final, it will be the 7-point tiebreaker. Last year it was 1-15. So I don't know who that would actually favor. Hovland out of bounds, and he just can't believe that he could do that. 12-9.
Hovland and Dodd. Hovland specifically with 7 unforced errors here. Very, very crucial turning point in the match.
The lead is 3. Check the velocity difference in serves.
You good. Let's go. Yeah, line. Yes,
And poked over. Nice break for Hovland and a smart play. So the Hov back to serve.
Well, we're having some technical difficulties with this scoreboard here on the beach side. The score is 12-9.
Pace very, very slow. Both teams taking their time.
Right there. Line. Mike, come on!
Down the line.
Perfect pass, perfect set. Lots of time for Randy Stoklos to look at the defense. You hear him call line. Perfect side out.
Smith Stoklos leading by 3 in our championship final. And another serving error for Smith, and he can't believe it. How many is that, Joel? 6. Unbelievable. Having trouble with it long today, Paul.
Don't see service errors from St. John Smith very often. Doesn't make errors spiking or jump serving, but we're seeing a lot in the serving category today.
Problem for Hovland and Dodd, they're not taking advantage of those particular errors.
Well, you can afford to serve tough. Maybe St. John's going for some aces, trying to serve a little bit deeper when your opposition is just lobbing the ball in play. Going deep, but easy. St. John has lots of time to back up and then get his momentum moving forward against
Gets the perfect set, and he hits it off Hovland for the touch.
Good. Yes. Yeah, angle. Come on, come on.
Nice take by Smith. Chance for a point.
There, no one.
Oh, great play by Dodd. Stoklos out of there. Pretty good rally by both teams, and now 14-9. Make it 13-9. We're having a little trouble with the scoreboard on the court.
That's the correct score there, Chris. We got some technical difficulties out here. The scoreboards we're working with. The score is 13-9.
And we have a sand timeout going to Hovland and Dodd. So Hovland and Dodd, after a good start, they have just gone dead in the water against Smith and Stoklos. But give credit to Smith Stoklos. They played very well. They've made the money plays.
Stick around. We'll be right back after this.
The money men, at least that's what they like to call themselves, Hovland and Dodd, are down to 2 points against it. Still have the tiebreaker to come back. But this year they have not done well in the tiebreaker.
You were right about Venice, Chris. It was $75,000 in Venice, $100,000 in Santa Cruz. Also won by Frohoff and Carra.
Here we go. Hovland and Dodd need to make a run. And Hovland off Stoklos, out of bounds. Just not sure how much they can do if they can't serve just a little harder when the wind drops, and that the stands here are just sheltering the wind perfectly. So it's really a big disadvantage.
I feel a little bit like sitting over center court at Flushing Meadows, where the U.S. Open is tennis championships are played. Flags blowing up above, the planes flying over. You hear them all the time, but no breeze down courtside.
Great shot by Dodd. What a play by both Hovland and Dodd. They got a ricochet dig. Hovland poked it up in a little backhand, so a point. And Hovland and Dodd trying to come back now.
That's the kind of play that can get them started and made Mike Dodd our Defensive Player of the Year. Randy going on one, Mike reading and anticipating time and again, and Hov with a perfect poke in. Look at this. This is creativity, because just backhanded tomahawk puts the ball down cross court.
Dodd can get hot very, very quickly on defense. The ball can ricochet off him time after time. Let's see if he can get another one.
Right there. Mike. Mike. Come on.
There he is again. Oh, he sets it up very nicely, and Hovland waffles it out of bounds.
Boy, Tim really struggling right now. So quick, both jumping and swinging. Just mistiming the play, hitting the ball out of bounds. A very crucial point-scoring opportunity by the board.
So it could have been 13-11, but it is not. It is 13-10, and Smith will jump it up. And the cut shot gently done. Side out. Dodd having a good game. Getting a lot of serves. Once again, the deep lollipop.
Come on. There.
Oh, look at that set. But the ball hit out of bounds. Stoklos got under it, but a little mistiming, and that was the first pass that I can remember St. John Smith passing off the mark just a bit.
I would say if Hovland and Dodd can hear us, they'd say, hey guys, our strategy is starting to work. We're wearing St. John Smith down.
Well, they try to drive him deep. They're working on him, try to poke it. This one Stoklos takes. And down the line. I've talked to Hovland about his blocking strategy on Stoklos. He likes to jump into the angle. He feels that's where Stoklos' power is. Fakes line and then powers that angle shot. That time, though, Stoklos easily going down the line. Can't give that away too early or it's, it's too obvious.
Randy received the ball in the deep middle, and St. John just setting the ball straight ahead of him as we have a quick and surprising ace from Randy Stoklos.
Boy, Hovland, you don't see that too much. Smith Stoklos, 14. Hovland and Dodd, 11. So this could be it to send it to the tiebreaker. Just get a feeling it's going to the tiebreaker, unless Hovland and Dodd can turn it around. And gently down the line. A lot of the times the players don't even have to hit to go by the block, and that doesn't tire them out quite as much.
Well, if the defensive player commits early enough and you get a solid, confident call from your setter, in that case, Mike Dodd, all he knows he has to do is get the ball over the block of the opposition, Randy Stoklos.
11 serving 14. Perfect pass.
Right there.
Good set. And right to Dodd. Chance for a point. Surprise. And Dodd gets it. So an error by St. John Smith.
Sometimes points are so hard to come by, and sometimes it's just, hey, thank you very much. You hit the ball right to the opposition.
14-12.
Right there. Mike.
Hovland out of bounds. So that's the third block by Hovland that has gone out by an inch or so.
A couple early on against Randy Stoklos, and Hov struggling with his game, made several unforced errors, but here could use a break in perfect position, swats his left hand, and that ball is out by 2 inches.
Good call by the linesman right on that play, Rick Olmstead. This is the second game point. Passes back.
Yeah, no one.
Smith, he'll corkscrew. Oh, what a shot. The rainbow finds the pot of gold and gets Hovland down at the same time. So the fans love it. They got more volleyball.